Hey guys, it's your girl Cherry B. So today we're going to talk about these ICE protests. These are absolutely concerning, considering that I have 5 children of my own, and I'll be damned if a school does this to my children. If this happens at my kids' school, there will be a lawsuit. This is dangerous, and here's why. I'm going to start pulling up videos, and then we're going to talk about them after each video, because please make this go viral to all the parents that are not familiar with what is going on. Some weird stuff is happening, and students are being pressured and pushed into going to these ICE protests by teachers and staff at school. This is totally unacceptable behavior. Here we are again with schools in the news with each and every single one of these disputes that we keep having, whether it's with ICE, whether it's with the trans movement, the Black Lives Matter movement. This all is turning into fuel from the left. This is unacceptable behavior. If teachers are going to be promoting this type of behavior, we'll call it behavior, teachers all need to be fired. Students need to be homeschooled. Teachers need to be fired and removed. We do not need our kids in this type of environment, especially when most of these kids are undiagnosed with some kind of mental illness or even autism or even just regular students. It puts regular students at risk. And as you'll see, there was an 11-year-old ASD student that was released and found 3 miles up the road. I don't even know, but we'll get there. Let's get into this.
Did you know? Every single one of these so-called protests where kids are walking out of school is somehow allowed by the faculty, by the staff, by the school district. There is no child in a public school in America, no matter what state, no matter which city, that thinks to him or herself, I'm going to walk out of school today and protest the Immigration and Customs Law Enforcement Agency. Nobody's saying that. It's happening because the adults are filling their brains with ICE doing this, that, and the other thing bad. It's because the adults are saying you are fully welcome because you got a First Amendment right to walk out of class, which they don't. In fact, we, the taxpayers, are forced to pay our taxes and fund these schools. And then you ever notice that they're going to school in the morning, having the head count done, getting the funding from us, and then letting them walk out? Let me say it again. Every single one of these is not organic. Every single one of these is being promoted by the staff, by the faculty, by the school board, by the superintendent, right on down. And it's got to stop now. This isn't okay. You're teaching them the wrong thing. And now you see some in Utah, they're throwing rocks at cars and so on. Stop it. Let me make this as clear as I can and spread this around to everybody. This is not organic, and the adults are the ones that are causing this. Come on.
Well, there you have it. This guy is telling you that it's not organic. It is definitely created by the adults that the students trust. So let's stop with the idea that students are doing this on their own and realize that actually the schools are doing it and encouraging students to speak out. Kids don't have rights like you think they do. That's why adults have to keep them in line, and that is why there's so many problems right now, because we've gotten rid of the system where kids think discipline shouldn't happen. Teachers also obviously think that discipline shouldn't happen. I think there should be some firings and some suings. I think if anything like this happened at my schools where my kids go, there would definitely be a lawsuit. So I really hope that Jefferson County, Lakewood, any of these other cities in the surrounding Colorado areas are not allowing this, because if this is the case, then we have a big fucking problem on our hands. Let's move on to the next one.
But my son just called and said that his school just brought him to a protest. So he's currently at a f***ing protest. I'm fitting to go rage. Who the fuck said you could bring my child to a protest? Any of our kids to a protest. They see what's happening today. Bringing kids out there now. Purposely in schools. Washington State. Send this out. Washington State sending their kids to protest. I'll see you soon. Let me give you a little rundown on the way there. White Center, we call out here Rat City. If anybody from Washington State knows this rat city is not an area. Bring kids, let alone bring kids to a protest in this piece of city. If anybody knows White Center, you know Rat City is dangerous. Why are you bringing our kids into dangerous territory with protesting going on? Anyway, I'll see you soon. See you in the next video. It looks like they made it all back to the school already before I could get here. Yeah, so they all just got back before I can get here. All the kids. Furry teachers on their bikes. Is this really what's going on? This is craziness. This is craziness. We got the blue hairs, everything. Are you serious? Yellow hair? Oh my God, my kid is at a woke school. What is going on? This is Cascade Middle School, everybody. Cascade Middle School in Washington State. Did you consent to that?
I didn't want to.
You didn't want to do that?
No, after the cops came up, one of the guys was like the guy with the megaphone, like a kid, who was like, do not talk to the federal thingamabobs, whatever it is.
Just believe I will be at the next school board meeting. You'll see my next video when that happens.
Drop it hard.
Do you blame him though? Like, honestly, I'd be showing up to that school hotter than fire, ripping my kids right out of that school district and putting them into a non-woke school district. Absolutely. And I would show up to the next student council meeting and there would be a lawsuit following that. Now, do you understand the concern here? Because not only did the kid not want to go, it just solidifies the fact that adults are making kids very unsafe. Adults that we're supposed to trust. It's not bad enough that we have the Epstein files and all these pedos running the streets free. But now we got a bunch of furries that dress like this at school, pink, purple, yellow, unprofessional, and showing up at school with their ideologies instead of allowing children to learn reading, math, and arithmetics. Let's move on to the next.
I didn't see this coming. Y'all ready?
These teachers and principals ought to be ashamed of themselves for allowing these students to participate in this. It's a dangerous game you all are playing.
It's extremely dangerous because kids are starting to learn and starting to think that this is acceptable. It's acceptable to be all crazy, to yell, to spit, to throw items, to bite ICE agents' fingers, to hit them with your vehicles, to cause a scene, cause a disturbance, to alert someone that's here illegally like, hey, here, go ahead and hide. To try to defend someone you don't even know just because you don't like Trump. Just be honest and say the truth. So you know what? Trump is telling ICE to go to these different cities and states. I know Obama did it. I know this has been done for years and years. I know this same thing is illegal in other countries as well. But since Trump is leading the issue, I don't like Trump. I didn't vote for Trump. Whatever the case may be, you have your feelings for Trump. You're okay with kids going out and protesting against something that they have no idea about. They're just trying to get out of school, causing havoc, putting themselves in harm's way. Until someone gets hurt, you're pushing ICE agents, you're putting them on the defense, and once they hurt somebody, then you want to scream, oh, wow, how did this happen to me? I can't believe they would do this to a kid. Why put a kid in that situation? Stop things before they can even start. But no, people just selfish and have their own selfish motives, and they'll do anything, risk anyone's lives just because they don't like someone.
He's absolutely right about that, folks. And I couldn't even disagree with them. Honestly, the adults, I just said that, right? The adults need to be protecting children. And when we have adults out there pushing these narratives, they should not be brought into the classroom. Kids should not be at protests. Kids should not be at protests, knowing how dangerous and violent things are. And all it is, look, something that I haven't even brought up is that these leftists are moving into the classrooms, into governmental positions, into child daycares, into places where children are, pushing false ideology, scaring kids, making them believe that we have a very racially run government just kidnapping people off the street. When instead they should just say this is an invasion and we need to get all of these people out of here right now. Because it's too dangerous, it's a hotbed full of crime, and we have to erase anybody that's on our, and I'm not saying erase, not erase, take them off of our citizen logs until we can afford to take care of our own people. Like, what makes you think that you can afford, that's like taking in a bunch of people into your home and you can't even afford your own rent, but you're going to take care of all these other people that you can't even afford to take care of, and take on debt that you can't afford to take care of and take on. So what is going on? Let's move on to the next. Something I didn't mention is, I was thinking about when I was a child, this shit wouldn't have flown. I tried to do a senior ditch day and I wasn't even a senior, I was a freshman. Who did I snake that paper out of the mail, and I got in so much trouble. Grounded, the whole nine, got my butt and tail whipped with the belt. Now, what I know nowadays is that kids are pushing your limits more and more and more, not because they're smarter, but because, like, people are trying to say that your kids are smarter than we were. No, not necessarily. There's a lot of things that they have to their disposal, like internet and things that they could read, but really kids are falling below reading and math level. So what the hell are they doing out there protesting? And secondly, these kids should fear discipline and fear your parents in a very respectful way. I'm not saying fear in a bad way, I'm saying fear as in you should not be leaving school to go to a protest, children. You should be at school learning how to read and do your math and handwriting, something that kids are falling behind in. Learn another language, pick up a book and read, something that kids don't like to do. So don't tell me that kids are smarter nowadays than they used to be. They're just more lazy and they get away with more. That's all it is. Tell me if I'm wrong. I got 5, so yeah, I figured out the code already. Let's move on to the next.
Dozens of Lee County public school students have been suspended for their involvement in ICE protests at Lee County high schools. Now a state senator is claiming the teachers union helped orchestrate the walkouts. Gulf Coast News chief political reporter Dave Elias just got out of an exclusive interview with the school superintendent. And Dave, do we know how many students have been suspended?
Well, Kelly, we're actually working to confirm just how many students have been suspended, but we're told the suspensions have not all been handed down. The district says there are more than 3,600 students who participated across 14 different schools. But the big question tonight is why were so many students suspended exercising their First Amendment rights? Students at Cape Coral, Ida Baker, North Fort Myers, all walking out of classes protesting ICE arrests.
It was mostly unity that we just wanted to show.
Holding signs and chanting against ICE.
We all kind of walked around the school.
Unfortunately, this is definitely a left issue. And it's both sides that are skipping, but this is a left issue, as in leftists are the ones pushing this ideology that shouldn't even be a thing. Okay, ICE has been around for many, many decades now, and it's nothing new. And it's definitely needed. And there definitely needs to be some training. But students shouldn't be leaving school and shouldn't even be knowing about this kind of stuff going on right now. And should definitely not be involved, because say they go to the protest and they're around people that are dangerous, and as you'll see in one of the videos coming up, why it's dangerous when your kids just leave without an adult watching them. This is a scary thing. You don't want your kids these days just willy-nilly in it. It's not like when we were kids. We had more independence. We were left to play in the neighborhoods without fear of being taken or fear of getting into trouble, because we knew what to expect and we knew what our parents expected of us. If you didn't get in by the lights turning on, well, you're not going out for the next week and you may lose phone privileges. Oh, no, it got worse than that. You got the belt, okay? So these kids these days don't understand what discipline is, because there's been so much involvement from the left into your parenting, your lifestyles, and this is a result of lack of parenting. This is a result of laws that are too in bed with the parents. It's like the state is raising our kids and not the parents. It's like the parents have lost control while the state gains control over their brain, their thoughts, and their actions. Who do you think should be responsible for this mess? Let's go to the next. You know what I was just thinking after watching that is, like, where'd I put it? Honestly, what I'm thinking about is that the Democrats can't get nobody to go to their paid protests no more. So now they're getting students because they ran out of money. So now they got to go the free route and use our children to protest their motives. Now, I did hear something about them entering each one of our homes and they're going to flip the script on our children. This is propaganda and this is dangerous. We must keep speaking to our kids about this leftist ideology. We must keep speaking to our young adults about this leftist ideology. We must show the truth. We must speak the truth and we must stop the lies. And this behavior, oh my God, there would be such a big lawsuit on this school. The district too. I mean, like, I don't even know. Like, what do you guys think? The dangers of them children crossing that busy road while cars are honking. They couldn't get no more protesters, so they used 3,600 school students or more. I mean, this is ridiculous. I mean, seriously, something needs to happen.
So when Florida students are confronted with videos of ICE raids, of families being torn apart, and of Americans being murdered for using their constitutional rights, they respond. They organize. They speak out. And they do what American students have always done in moments of injustice. They stand together and demand safety for their peers, their families, and themselves. And that response, while framed by some politicians as radical, is rather reasonable. It's rational, and in a moment like this, it is required. To any students being told that they do not have the right to speak out or walk out on their campus, I want to be clear. This is the United States of America. You do not shed your First Amendment rights when you step foot through the schoolhouse gates.
I don't even know, guys, I don't even know what to say at this point, but I probably shouldn't say anything to that, because all I'm going to say is, do you see who's up there? Do you see the problem? Sorry if I saw blue hair, purple hair, yellow hair, any color hair that wasn't normal color hair. Sorry, I'm going to go to the next application. I think you are a danger to students. Just saying. This is why the left should be unifying with the right, so that we could put a stop to all this propaganda bullshit. Fire teachers that are worthless and a waste of society. What, you couldn't get enough protesters from adults, so you had to go touch our children? Something's wrong with this picture. Let's go to the next.
Ice will melt! Ice will melt! Ice will melt! Ice will melt!
To me, it doesn't sound like just a protest. It sounds like a threat. Ice will melt. There's a problem here. Let's move on to the next. Oh, and if you're not freaked out, well, you probably are by now. So let's move on to the next, and if that hasn't solidified it, this one should.
These students were threatened with a suspension if they continued to protest ICE.
We'll go back to class and we're good. If you stay out here, we will get your names. You will be suspended, okay? That is your option at this point, because you are operating outside the bounds of what was granted. That event was canceled. You left school without permission. Your rights do not supersede the school. So if you understand that, that is your option. If you wish to return, Dr. Damiani will let you in that door over there. If not, I will be getting your names. You will be suspended, okay? Those are your options.
What are we doing?
All right? Your rights do not exceed that of the school.
Your rights do not supersede the rules of the school. We've been seeing these ICE protests taking place at several schools throughout the country, and the schools have essentially encouraged it. But this never should have been allowed in the first place. Politics simply don't belong at school. So I'm glad the staff here at the school are stepping up and doing something about this and shutting this stuff down before it gets crazy. So hopefully more schools will see this as an example and do it themselves as well. But let me know what you guys think down in the comments about this. Remember to follow me for more videos like this.
Ooh, it's about time a school does what the parents ask them to. Keep my children in school. Let them learn. If my child gets below a C, I know what's going on. Brain rot behavior on the teacher's end. Why do we have teachers teaching our students like they don't care? They have no responsibility, like our kids have no business in school, and like, you can go do whatever you want. Just go protest. Down in the corner, hold your little sign, and crossing the streets, playing traffic, get hit by a car, who cares? You're under the school's time. It will be okay. Nobody will be blamed. Matter of fact, send those kids back to school. Teach them appropriate history and give them the truth instead of feeding them a bunch of lies about ICE. Move on to the next.
This afternoon, a mother says she just wants answers after her special needs son is found wandering miles away from his school when he was supposed to be in class.
I don't feel safe. I'm just scared to go back. There's something could happen that same day again.
11-year-old Richard Harley says he doesn't want to go back to class after he was found wandering, scared and alone, miles away from school grounds following a student-led walkout protesting ICE.
They were supposed to stay on 72, by the school, but they did the exact opposite. It went just way more farther, and no one even knew like how far they were going.
So you kind of got.
I was like the last one, so I was like all alone.
The incident happened Tuesday morning at Dundee Middle School in the far northwest suburb where the 6th grader is a student.
What's going on?
His mother says she was not notified about the walkout, and because her son has special needs and an individualized education program, or IEP, takes issue with him being allowed to leave campus without supervision or parental authorization.
Why didn't I get, a notification that he was tardy, or absent for that matter? Why didn't they even bother calling in?
Blaisdell says her son didn't understand what the walkout was about and merely went along with the other students when they went outside. She says the protest turned dangerous for Richard when he couldn't keep up with the other kids who were marching along Main Street and Route 72 Higgins Road. Blaisdell said her son called her in a panic.
He said, you just need to come pick me up. I don't know what's going on. I'm very scared.
The 34-year-old mother of 3 says she called police but was able to locate her son through his cell phone about 10 minutes later near the busy intersection of 72 and Randall Road.
It's not right because my kid, again, is supposed to be safe, in school.
You know what? This is the story right here that really upset me. I have 2 older kids that are in the ASD program. I have 4 children with ASD. I also have 3 children with heart problems. What in the is that school doing? A center-based program which is for kids with ASD. These kids have to have supervision. Like, y'all are letting the ASD kids out to hold signs because y'all can't get nobody else to propagate for you in public. You can't get adults to do your little mission because we all figured out it's BS, so now you're infiltrating our kids' minds and our brains. There will be a lawsuit out on this. This is disgusting, and my stomach hurt because autistic kids get lost. I've had 2 of them get lost on me. Okay, these kids could get lost very easily, and this should not be happening. Let's get to it. Let me know. Wouldn't you be pissed too?
Several states have actually seen kids walk out by the hundreds, and now the disciplinary action that follows is igniting a growing debate over safety and discipline. So in Virginia, more than 300 students at Woodbridge High School were suspended this week after leaving campus without permission during an unsanctioned anti-ICE walkout. School officials say the demonstrations violated district policy, even as organizers call for additional protests. Students, meanwhile, say the suspensions are subjective. Take a listen.
In one of my classes, there wasn't a lot of people. So even yesterday in AP Psych, I didn't see a lot of people. There's just no reason for it. I mean, they did that last year, I think, or the year prior. They had a walkout for Palestine, and they didn't suspend anybody.
In Florida's Palm Beach County, hundreds of students joined similar walkouts, where at least one teen student was hit by a car during a street protest and transported to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. Meanwhile, in Los Angeles, Police Chief Jim McDonnell urged students to stay in class, warning that protests outside school grounds can quickly become dangerous after 3 weeks of anti-ICE demonstrations where officers and protesters were hurt. Legal experts note that while students do have First Amendment protections, leaving school property without authorization is generally not considered protected speech. And some Republican leaders are now warning that students who participate in these walkouts could face disciplinary action. Now, the First Amendment protects students in schools when they're protesting in non-disruptive ways. Walking out is a little bit different. Students, though, say that they don't regret it despite the disciplinary action.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I definitely think there should be disciplinary action. Again, I always knew that we didn't have freedom of speech totally since I was a little kid. We were taught that in my generation. But as we got older, we were misled by the Democratic side and lied to all of our lives, thinking that we must serve the people, which we do, but not for our own guilty pleasures. This is one of them. Kids should be disciplined. Children, parents, discipline. Pull that belt out, whip that ass. You're gonna stay in school. If my kids are gonna be missing school. My kids hardly ever miss school. Only for doctor's appointments or if they're very, very ill. Super rare. It also builds consistency and a very routine manner of day to keep your child in order and on track. But when we have behavior like this and lies being pushed into our kids, it presents panic and fear, and they do stuff like this. Just saying. It's a leftist agenda. They are propagating our kids' minds. We must try 10 times harder to make sure our kids are being fed the correct information.
Another ICE school walkout, and this kid who has special needs disappeared 2-3 miles down the road, and he got lost. And these teachers are accountable for these students, and they're just letting the students walk free. They didn't even tell the parent that their kid is actually outside of school. The parent should sue. The kid's lucky he didn't get hit by a car or got hurt. Not telling the parents is one thing, but the other thing is they should have written consent from the mother that it's okay for this child to be alone. He's 11 years old, and he was the last one and couldn't keep up with the crowd that just kept walking miles and miles away from school. This is what you get with the Department of Education and letting liberals and Democrats just run everything. They just run all the colleges, they teach the kids, they grow up to be teachers, and then teach the students to be liberals and Democrats.
Now, here's the solution. You show up to my school with purple, pink, blue, yellow, anything that's not Republican, you will not be teaching at my student's school. If you have a Democratic check marker, you'll be doing an extensive background to make sure you're not pushing other political things onto children that shouldn't be. And at the end of the day, teachers should be keeping our students in class. I expect that you guys teach our students. I don't want my child running out on the middle of the road, and neither do any of us. You know, my boyfriend is Hispanic from Mexico. His family he's born here, but he also believes that there should be rules and doesn't think kids should be out there doing this. It's unsafe. And pushing this agenda is unsafe for America and our children, and it doesn't make our world a better or safer place. So when we don't have repercussions for kids just leaving class and there isn't discipline at home because parents gave up because the state gets too involved, CPS shows up when they shouldn't, CPS doesn't allow parents to be parents, the state, and that you can thank for the left. The left has said they were protecting kids while they were trafficking them. The left said that they were helping us while they were stealing our money. The left said they were Black Lives Matter, that they were ICE out, and all this other stuff, right? And they push these propagandas to the world, and the world starts to believe it, thinking that we are the Gestapo, that we're here to take over, that we're here to ruin your life, and this and that. When in reality, that's not even what's going on. These kids are being fed lies. They're not telling students that we've had an invasion. They're not telling kids that these things are as a result of behaviors from the left. You know, they haven't figured that out yet. So parents, if you have children, please speak out to your children. Please keep reiterating the lies and the propaganda and encourage them to stay in class, and if they see something, say something. If they feel something's off, it probably is off, and that if your child has a cell phone and they decide to do a walkout, make sure that they have their cell phone so the parents can come pick them up directly and report it to the school district. Alright guys, I'll see you guys in the next video. I hope you guys enjoyed this.